Hey friends! As you may already know, I am Sierra McLean and I work for Youth for Christ. But in case you have no idea what that actually means, step into my office. Really, this is my office. I work with a really fantastic group of people, and when we're all together, things are interesting.
And when the school year ends, we gather up our friends.
But really, I love them. The people I work with are fantastic, and we each run different ministry sites. So, for example, we have outreach to the juvenile justice ministry. We also have something called Parent Life, which reaches young, pregnant, and parenting students, adults, and teens. And we also have something called Campus Life, which is reaching out to the high school and middle school students in this area who are unchurched and unreached and sharing Jesus with them. And I am a part of Campus Life, and specifically, I am the director of Campus Life at Shasta Middle School. My very first contact with the kids is usually right here in the cafeteria where I'm serving the school and helping out in the lunch line. Lunchtime, middle school, is pretty much what you'd expect. Okay, not quite like that. Thankfully, the staff here actually do an incredible job of keeping the kids well behaved and in check. And that's why I'm here too, to help with supervision. Turns out the lunch line is actually an amazing place to meet kids because I go from table to table, introduce myself to kids, and get to know them a little bit. Intimidating, right? Well, it is, but it's also really fun because I bring along riddles and joke books and stories and all sorts of fun icebreakers and games, as well as some props for my magic tricks. Okay, not quite like that. Approaching strangers is pretty intimidating, and it especially was at first, but like all things, it just takes time and practice to get used to. And if I'm standing in the lunch line and all else fails, I can't think of anything to start a conversation, there is always...
So, do you want to go eat food?
Smooth, Sierra, real smooth. To seeing me here throughout the week at school, I get to invite them to our weekly club. What is club? Oh, I'm glad you asked. This is Studio West at Shasta. With the proper lighting, music, and a dash of decorations, this place quickly becomes the fun room where we get to spend time every week at Tuesday Night Club with the kids. We play games with them in here, we have fun activities and learning experiences, we give them food like dinner and snacks. This is where the kids sit when they get to hear a relevant speaker come and talk about issues that they face today, as well as hear the gospel message for the first time often. And then we get to have small groups with them as well and find out what's going on in their lives. But club isn't all we do. We do a lot of things, including the infamous all-nighter. I remember the first time that I went to an all-night party with several hundred crazy middle school kids. I didn't know what hit me. Yes, I and my volunteers actually do choose to stay up all night with a bunch of preteens, playing games, roller skating, bowling, sharing the truth of Christ. And the next day, all I can think is,
I'm pretty tired. Think I'll go home now.
I know what you're thinking. Why do I do this to myself? Middle school best years of my life, said no one ever. I mean, people try to scare me. They'll show me these videos of these really creepy looking spiders, and I'm like, you really think you can scare me? I work with middle schoolers. Spiders are pretty scary. But all joking aside, being around these students is actually no cakewalk. I mean, it really is hard because I have seen, even just in this room in the last few years, kids who have been dealing with peer pressure at school, bullying everywhere around them. At home, they're often dealing with drug abuse and parents who are addicted or in prison. Gang violence in the neighborhoods. I mean, kids walking home alone in the dark. I've even dealt with kids who've been through rape and incest. And it's It's incredibly dark, and these kids have been through a lot. Even with all of the darkness, I love my job more than anything. I love working with these kids. Spending time with these kids is so much fun. In fact, just this year alone, I and my team have taken kids to the Portland Zoo, OMSI Museum, paintballing, swimming, sledding in the snow, hiking, rock climbing, to the beach, boating and inner tubing, ice skating, and so many other adventures. And we get together regularly with kids for individual hangouts. We have Bible study groups for guys and girls where kids' lives are saved and changed every year. And as kids make the choice to start following Jesus, we partner with local churches and youth groups to get them plugged in long term, to become followers of Christ for life. My job is a little bit crazy. And there are some days, some really hard days where I'm just... But however crazy my life is, it's 100 times as beautiful and worth absolutely every minute. I mean, so much in this room alone has happened in the last 4 and now going on 5 school years that I've been here with Shasta. This right here is where I met my very first 6th grade student. She was tiny and precious, and she was showing me this little snow globe craft that she had made that was really cute. She was from an atheistic family. She came out of a situation of self-harm and darkness and demonism and violence, and was just full of hate for the world, just absolute hate for herself too. And from that place, she came into this room and she met Jesus in this room right here. And from there, I saw her change so much over the years to come. And she's going in 10th grade now, in high school, which is crazy. And even though she moved away, she called me just last week. And we talked about our lives together, and she just asked to pray with me. Her story is just one of so many kids who have been through this room and been through this program and have come out of violence and darkness and hate into God's wonderful light. So thank you for making what we do possible. For every moment of your time that you give, for every dollar that you have given to make these events possible, for supporting me as a missionary, for reaching out to these kids, for every prayer that you have prayed, for every part of your heart that you've poured out. Thank you so much, because this wouldn't be possible without you. I really appreciate it. And I am so glad that we get to be part of this together, and that I get to spend my time with these kids and love them now and forever.
I bless the day I found you. I wanna stay around you now and forever. Let it be me.